Hey there, my name is Pravus and welcome to more Terra Invicta. We are playing as the Resistance. In the last video, we mostly consolidated our power in a lot of ways. We've got our United States of North America, which does have Cuba and Mexico in a federation. We could go on a conquest spree throughout most of North and Central America if we wanted to. That would be fine. We also snagged the Eurasian Union with all 30 of their nukes, just in case the aliens decide to send a troop transport and we need to just kind of reduce them to atoms. That is a thing. Now, the Eurasian Union is going to be a little annoying in the sense that it's going to take a lot of time to build this up into a somewhat reasonable country. It's very totalitarian. It doesn't have a very good GDP. Its investment in science is kind of terrible. It's got very high inequality. Yeah, there's not a lot to like about the Eurasian Union right now. The only thing that's good about it is I can use its claims to pick up a few other nations, like grabbing Kazakhstan, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, Armenia, all that kind of stuff. Can get consolidated under one big nation. And then, I don't know, if we feed off, let's say, the Balkans and Turkey off to European Union, we'll have some pretty nice borders, and I'll just control 3 mega-states in order to dominate most of the world. How is the world doing? Out of sheer curiosity, if we take a look at intel, we can see here with the global that I've got about 20% of the population on my side. The initiative, surprisingly, is doing pretty well as well here. I think that's because they have a lot of control here in India, and they're actually gunning for the academy in China, too. So the initiative is looking to make some big plays. They haven't successfully done that yet. The academy is holding on, but we'll see what the initiative is able to pull off. Humanity First is spreading aggressively throughout places like Asia and Africa, mostly in the poorer countries. I'm not too sure what they're going to accomplish with all of that, but they're trying, so kudos to them. The downside is I'm probably going to find myself in conflict with them at some point in the near-ish future. Because I want Finland, I want Ireland, I want South Africa, I want Australia, I want New Zealand. These are all things I'm going to want. I do think we are probably at a stage of the game where if the aliens aren't going to come to me, then I just need to start being a bit more aggressive. And that might mean that we need to go over back to Mercury, our good old friend here, and start setting up even more satellites, specifically for things like the mission control, plus some nanofactories to keep my money afloat. If we can do all that, will be good. I might even consider getting another research station, though honestly, at 8,000 science, I'd like to think that this is going to be pretty good. We're making more science from HABs than from our nations. That's how effective this has been down here. I don't know. More never hurts, really. It's always important to get lots of science, and if I can tech up some really good weapons and ship components, I don't know, maybe we just say screw it. If the aliens aren't going to come to me, I'm going to go to them. For now, let's just get one more op center and one more nanofactory hub set up, just to kind of get us going. That's 131 mission control with more on the way. I don't know how much more I'm going to be able to continue building before the aliens become a threat. We're just kind of in that weird stage where it's usually around 2033 through 2035 that they're going to launch the first assault carrier toward you. At least that's what people seem to say on Reddit. Whether that's actually true might be a slightly different question. So I don't know if we play dead or try to stay under the radar a little bit longer, or do we just freaking go for it? I mean, they've got a lot of ships, but the question is, do they have any sort of a troop carrier? Yeah, I actually don't see a single troop carrier on here, or at least nothing that's designated towards some sort of a transportation mission type. They mostly just have a lot of very basic frigates and destroyers for some level of space superiority, and then a whole bunch of outer system colony ships, and that's kind of it. A few dreadnoughts here and there. Like, don't think for a second that they're, like, not a threat. Heck, there's a mothership, and there's a second one right there. So they're still scary, but, like, this is not as powerful as the aliens could be. Either they just haven't had time to build up and their economy is suffering, and that can happen, because the AI doesn't have any cheats. They just start off and start playing. Or they're going to ramp up really aggressively the second they see me getting too far outside of, let's say, the asteroid belt. What I'm trying to decide is, do I want to go for Jupiter? Because Jupiter would be an unbelievably good location for setting up some colonies and ramping up that space economy hard. I mean, it helps that we're getting some plasma confinement, so pretty soon we can now move on to some plasma weapons. Now, see, that might change my equation a little bit. If I can get plasma weapons up and running, ho-ho, we'll do some damage. We'll do some real damage. No more point defense for you. Just molten slag energy, whatever you want to call this stuff, contained into plasma and just burning straight through your armor. That stuff would be great. What I really want to do is get rid of the dang aliens, which actually just disappeared. So he's gone under cover somewhere. I really want to get rid of him. But I can't, because I know that I don't want to invoke retaliation. But the longer we leave the agent running around over here, like, the more he can start doing things like doing abductions and helping the servants in some way. We've managed to really hamstring the servants in the Protectorate, I think, because we've been getting rid of their alien technology and their alien language missions. These guys really are not going to be able to do too much for a while. If we keep hitting their science, when are they ever going to advance their story? Pretty much never, I think. So, I don't know. If we keep on top of that, maybe I don't care if the alien is running around, and that buys me time. Okay, now we've made some more progress in the story. We researched the whole exotic materials thing, and that completes an objective. Out of all the examples of alien technology we had the opportunity to examine, their exotics are probably the most impressive. Some sort of pico technology, super nano type of material. A universal enhancer component alters the physical properties of whatever material it bonds with. Wow, that does sound pretty darn powerful. Copper is most commonly used conductive metal. Silver, better. By alloying copper with exotics, we create a new compound that's even better. Yeah, no trade-off at all. Basically, exotics are just like a super material, and the more of it we have, the better. So up here at the top, you can see right here, we do actually have the ability to stockpile this stuff now. But the only way I know how to get it is to actually, you know, attack the aliens. So we can't do anything about this yet, but at some point, I want to roll enough in this that I can create some super battleships that the aliens can't possibly stand against. Also, new objective, a brief mention of a gate and maybe wormhole theory. Yep, this is something we need to research. Wormholes. Well, that's the entirety of the Balkan region taken care of. All that gets added into our European Union, which is now up to about $18.5 trillion in value. Full democracy, though it appears to have slipped just ever so slightly, and yet despite integrating all of those states, our robotics age technology is not really impacted, which is great. Turns out when you spend 38% of your annual budget toward the military, you end up being pretty advanced. Ah, dang. I was actually also about to consider maybe detaining this alien over here. I did a lot of spying on him. But I just got the pop-up saying, the aliens might attack if we keep doing anything. And it's like, okay. Well, basically that means I've probably crossed over 42 threat, and I can't do anything anymore, and that sucks. Oh well. We've unlocked the ultra capacitors, so phased array lasers are going to be a thing. Plus, we have terawatt fusion reactor technology as an option for us, and particle cannons with advanced coil cannons. I don't know what all that exactly means, it just sounds really good. Hey, do you want to just do Mission to Jupiter? Do we just do Mission to Jupiter? I mean, I'm a little bit concerned now that apparently we could be up to about 42 threat, but if we're gonna leave them alone, let's just learn how to go to Jupiter. You know, it might be a good opportunity to give ourselves our first science vessel, a real colony ship. Get out there, establish some outposts, you know, that kind of a thing. I think it might be time to go ahead and integrate Kazakhstan back into the Eurasian Union. We've waited long enough, so this shouldn't be a problem. Click and boom. All right, unification, done. So that improves the Eurasian Union a smidge. Their GDP is still only a piddly $4.4 trillion. Looks like their totalitarian rating went up slightly out of this, but not much. A little bit more knowledge, that's good. Their military tech went down, but that's not surprising, not a big deal either. And they get all the boost as a result, so cool. Now I can stop defending freaking Kazakhstan. How are we doing in the United States, by the way? Looks like the inequality is starting to go up a little bit. Man, we really are having a hard time investing enough in welfare to keep this up and running. Military investments are going well, though. We're up to 5.5. That is a very advanced military indeed. How is Japan doing? 5.3. So once again, the United States has surpassed everyone else and become the dominant, leading technological power in terms of military force, so that's all looking good. Something I can do, by the way, is actually just ask the European Union to give up Greenland and give it over. I'm pretty sure that that works. What else do I have claims on that the European Union might also have claims on? Georgetown? That's owned by the UK, though. That's not it. Something down over here, I think. I am pretty sure that if I went to the European Union, I could ask them to give up both Greenland and wherever this tiny little island is down here. Which I'm kind of okay with, honestly. Why is a mothership heading toward Earth? Why is a mothership heading toward Earth here? That's, I don't know if those can be troop carriers, but given that it's a mothership, I kind of wouldn't be surprised. We've got at least 2 battleships still surveilling around Earth. I still don't see any troop transports per se, but I'm highly concerned that a mothership's about to come by and ruin our day. Anyway, I'm setting some national policy over in the US where we can actually integrate Cuba directly, so let's go ahead and unify, not with Mexico, but with Cuba, since Cuba is relatively small and shouldn't have much impact on the, well, it actually still had a bit of an impact on our military, but mostly because they were just that far behind. I mean, it's gonna happen. Anyway, then we go over here to the European Union. I'm gonna cede some territory to the United States. Cede Willemstad and Nuuk. Confirm that, please. Thank you. There we go. All right, so the United States of North America actually gets the rest of North America. Is that just a totally pointless shuffle of land? Absolutely. Do I feel better about it? Yeah. We've learned about exotic hybrid systems. I wanted this one because we get the extra investment toward building new armies and navies, which is very helpful, especially if you have very good tech already. Plus, more investment toward the military just means this ramps up faster for literally everyone else. So we're looking pretty good there. I don't know what exotic spike radiator is. That sounds kind of cool, I guess. Kind of metal. Plasma weapons. Yes. Okay, so we'll have access to some really good stuff there now. What else would make a lot of sense to get? Climate change mitigation and integrated Earth space economy. I mean, I can kind of guess from the names, but I don't know exactly what they do. Could work toward, wow, 95,000 science to get terawatt fusion reactors, 70,000 for phased array lasers? Jeezums. I mean, this would obviously be a very, very powerful weapon. I like that, but holy crud. Can you guys be a little bit less expensive for once? Jeez. Well, I don't know if this is going to go badly with the aliens on their way, but I'm going to go ahead and design a new ship class, and this hopefully will be some sort of a colonizing ship. I think a frigate is fine because it gets 4 utility modules, and that's kind of what I'm looking for here. So we need to have a mobile science lab. Otherwise, we're going to end up having to send probes after our ships have already arrived, and we're going to cry for like 3 years. That would suck. So make sure we bring that along. Then we probably want... Let's see, I should have fusion, actually, so we can get a fusion platform and outpost kit. That wouldn't be bad. And is that kind of all I want? Spiker. I guess we could get some fission plants, but, like, why when fusion is better? This seems kind of okay. Then it's a question of whether we have a drive that's going to work. I did get the heavy Dumbo drive. There it is. This thing should have a lot of thrust to it. So let me play around with this power plant, see if I can get something small and effective. No, that appears to not be correct. The thrust, actually, I think was for the combat acceleration. That's actually not what I needed at all. Pulsar driving, yeah, the advanced one's not bad, 32 kps. I don't think we're gonna find anything better than that. No. Let's try this one, advanced pulsar drive. Ah! And all of a sudden you find yourself jumping up to 57 kps. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Yeah, I think that this could be an okay ship for me, as far as just colonizing Jupiter. So I am going to save the Menelaus design, and we're gonna build probably 1 or 2 of these things. We'll try 1 to start, just in case. There's the mission to Jupiter already done. That didn't take long, did it? We could go for a mission to Saturn, but that's way beyond where I ever am going to need to go. So that's a big nope from me. I could also go for a boost in the maximum military tech for all human nations, and I think that's gonna end up being worth it, because I would like to go above 6.0 if possible. We've also researched our space future, which is going to lead toward the colony habitats and ring habitats. So now we're going to tier 3 stations. So we could do that, go for some bigger stations around Mercury, for example. I feel like this is one of those things that we're gonna need, but when we pull... Oh, wow, we can shave off almost a year if we just divert some extra science to this thing. Definitely worth it. Tier 3 stations makes me think that that's around the time when we want to pull the trigger and say, you know what? Forget this whole hiding under the radar thing. Aliens, I'm here, and I am ready to obliterate you. Interesting. The mothership picked up the dreadnought and the destroyer that were already here, and now it's leaving. Okay. No, I mean, that's good. Yeah, no, they did not want to land a bunch of stuff here on Earth. Huh. Huh. They just wanted to get some escort, I guess? Or maybe someone needed to bring them some fuel. Alright, well, now I kind of have the question of, do I say screw it, start building some battleships and try to take out their surveillance craft so they stop spying on me? Because I think they're getting a whole bunch of different bonuses for their counselors and stuff just from surveillance. I actually don't know for sure, because I kind of wish you could play as the aliens in this game just to see how they work, right? Find out what their mechanics are. I don't know for sure how the aliens work with surveillance and why that matters. I just don't think it's a good thing, and we probably want to stop them. Ooh, fission pulse drives. Ooh, aren't Orion drives supposed to be, like, really good? I feel like they're supposed to be really good. I don't know if we need that much range, but it is something we may want to come back to soon. Let's go ahead and research the colony habs around the same time we're doing the ring habs. And they'll finish close to the same time, so that come the end of 2035, so beginning of 2036, I might very well look at this and say, you know what, yep, now's the time. Let's just go ham. You know, I just want to say, it's really frustrating watching the AI sometimes in this game. Japan, under the control of the servants, because, you know, it's just what they do, have been invading Ireland for, like, a long time now. They just keep popping in here. And Ireland built an army, you know, a proper little defense force, and they got crushed by the Japanese, and the Japanese tried to occupy and then immediately fall apart and had to run away, and they're gonna come back, and they're just gonna run away, and they're gonna come back, and they're gonna run away. It just goes on and on and on. Like, when is the AI supposed... Oh, there goes my asset. When is the AI supposed to be smart enough to say, you know what, this is kind of a waste of resources and time, and I should probably be doing anything else, you know? Because they're wasting investment points. They're not growing their nations if they're going constantly at war. So what's the point? What are they gaining? Nothing. They're just falling further and further and further behind. I hope that's one of the things they change at some point. It feels like the aliens are my competitors, and the other players, the other factions on Earth are a nuisance. The Menelaus is launched. So here's my little ship, just ready and waiting. Can we reach anything in the Jupiter system? Jupiter itself is 62.4 kps away, so that's a no. Metis, that appears to be no. Not here, not here. Io's a little bit too far away. Europa apparently is not too far away. We could reach Europa. Ganymede? Yeah, it's kind of fun, honestly, recognizing a lot of these names, because again, I'm reading the series The Expanse right now, and a lot of the stuff happens around the Jovian system, so that's always kind of fun. I mean, if we're gonna go anywhere, we probably should just go ahead and start with something like Europa, right? I think that'll be fine. Launch date, Delta V, yeah, this is all just kind of is what it is. All right, here's hoping I am not creating a generation ship and sending these people off to their doom. They're not going to have enough KPS for the return journey. If we go there, we have to build something. Looks like the launch window is May 29? It's not quite what I had in mind, so maybe I'm misunderstanding that. Do we just not have enough Delta V to do this still? Well, once it's launched, I don't think there's anything I can do about it. I'm pretty sure it just is what it is. So, I can't retract it. Again, I hope you guys do well. What do you know about wormholes? 2 points in space-time connected via instantaneous quantum tunnels, theorized in 1916. Well, apparently we found an anomaly where there shouldn't be one beyond Neptune. So, yeah, there's a wormhole in our solar system, and there really, really shouldn't be. What have we discovered over here? Let's see. The Hydra base houses a stable, traversable wormhole. How they were able to create it is unknown. Probably exotics were involved in some way. But what we can say is if the aliens were to lose it, their war effort would be crippled. Interesting. So we found a new research, the choke point. You know, it's funny, we're really progressing very rapidly down a lot of our story-based tech. I'm not even ready to go and attack the aliens outright, but it seems like I've almost discovered my objective already. Oh, crud, the mothership's back. I wasn't expecting you to be here so soon. Oh, that's a big ship. Yep, that right there, ladies and gentlemen, is an alien mothership. It can wreck me in a very, very big way. No signs so far of it being interested in pursuing any of my stations yet. I'm waiting to find out that I've jinxed it in some way. Maybe. Yeah, that thing is a little on the strong side. I think I have to start working on the phased array lasers. 70,000 science, though, dude. Ouch. But man, my understanding is these are really, really good weapons. So, like, the sooner we can pick that up, the better. No matter what I do, it's going to take me about a year. A year straight of research with this thing at the top priority, and that's, maybe I've been sabotaging. You know what? Here's a thought. Maybe I've been sabotaging the other AI players too much, right? I've been trying to make sure that I stay ahead. But I also kind of need them to have enough science that they can contribute to the global research like that. So maybe I've been overdoing it, and I should have left these guys some big stuff. Then again, they also kind of have been wasting their own time. I mean, you give them something big like India or China, and what do? They run it into the literal ground. I mean, gosh, India is completely destroyed here. So, I mean, China's not looking great either, frankly, but, like, at least it's something. But India's looking awful. How's our ship over here looking? Yeah, still not going anywhere until May 29th, it looks like. So they're just kind of sitting around at the moment. We had a much, much, much stronger engine with better thrust and delta V. Maybe we could ignore that, but I don't know. Out of curiosity, if we want to go to Jupiter, all right, let's just go ahead and zoom in. Jupiter's awesome because look how many planetary bodies exist around this thing. There's a lot you can do. How long would it take me to send a probe? Oh my, yup, 1,200 days. And that right there is why I feel like I need to have a colony ship in order to make this work. Because otherwise, that's going to take way too long for us to do anything about it. Can I just point out what I'm talking about here with Japan? Here they come again to land on Ireland. It just don't make no sense. I'm getting really sick and tired of sitting around here and waiting and doing absolutely nothing. There's a lot of downtime in this game. A lot of it. I'm kind of increasingly tempted to say, screw it, let's just pull the trigger and do something dumb. For example, go to Mars and say, let's spend some extra MC and just get a bunch of settlement cores. It's time to move on to a bunch of tier 2s. Is that dumb and totally pointless? I don't know, maybe. But I don't know, I'm really sick of sitting around with nothing to do. And it kind of says something about this game, you know? I mean, it's a really, really cool idea for a game, and I was super duper fascinated with it for a long, long time, but the longer it goes on, the more I'm just like, for God's sake, can we move on already? You know? Can something happen? Can the aliens do something, for example? Like, send your ship. Just send it. Send the dang troop transport, and I will be happy to have a new threat to deal with. Hello? Well, what do you know? Okay, I shouldn't have said that. There's 2 army carriers now. Oh, goody, goody gumdrop. They're sending 2 of them, not just 1. Well, now I'm screwed. Okay, they're on their way here. They're gonna be landing. They're going to arrive in 2037. I've got a lot of time to build up some new armies and try to get ready, because when they arrive, we're gonna have to nuke the frick out of them or get all of our armies in position and ready to go. That's one of the reasons, by the way, it's so important to have a navy, so you have global access with these soldiers. You want to be able to get anywhere in the world at a moment's notice. The more terrain that I control myself, the easier it's going to be for me to just get wherever the aliens are landing, deploy my troops, and fight them and meet them as they land. If they go and deploy in, let's say, in the middle of China, well, it's going to be a little bit hard. I don't want to declare war on China, but I want to fight against the aliens. So how the heck would I do anything about that, right? Totally random where they're going to fire off, by the way. No idea. So, yeah, anyway, 2037, huh? Okay, we got a year and a half. 1.5 years before troops arrive. Let's consolidate whatever I can, and yeah, let's just say screw it. Let's build a lot of stuff in Mars. By the way, have we launched our ship? Yes, we have. The Romeo 10 fleet. That is to say, the, oh gosh, I don't even remember what it's called anymore. The Menelaus has left Earth, and you can see its trajectory. It is on its way to intercept with Jupiter right about over here. Oh, good, a 3rd army carrier. Oh, good. Yes. No, this is, oh no. This actually is scaring me enough that I'm wondering if the only solution If there weren't a mothership in orbit, what I would say is maybe we should just quickly build up a fleet of battleships, intercept their carriers, and destroy them. But with a mothership in orbit, it really depends on how good of a fleet I'm able to design. And I haven't messed with this in a little while. Let me see if there's like a really, really powerful battleship I can make. Like, maybe we could design something kind of like this. It's not great. It's really more of a short-range kind of battleship. They're classifying it as a defense bomber. Sure, if you say so. So what I would put on this is something like a coil cannon Mark III to fire off a really heavy metal slug at high velocity. Oh, but this takes exotics? Now, see, I didn't realize that. Well, that's an issue. Why would I want to have a gun that takes exotics? Fine. Coil cannon Mark II instead. That does not take exotics. All right. So this would have about half a G of combat acceleration. It's got enough delta V just to kind of get around Earth orbit, but not much beyond that. That's the thing that worries me. We can possibly get a little bit more out of increasing some propellant tanks, but not much. It's gonna be pretty darn slow. Not a great turn rate either. But it would have some giant heavy plasma batteries on top of it, as well as some point defense using arc lasers. So this would be kind of an all-rounder ship that doesn't even use missiles. It just hammers into the enemy as aggressively as it feels like it can, while also having some level of defense and some armor. Not a lot of armor, though. That's the thing that kind of worries me. But the more armor I toss on here, you can see it really increases my tonnage quite a lot. I really wish I had some, like, side armor, but we lose a lot if we do that. This is estimated to have a attack value of only 243. Ouch. And yet, if I built a fleet of these, I feel like we would have a chance at intercepting and destroying some stuff. What I can't take on is the mothership. That's the thing that worries me. I cannot fight the mothership with a ship like this. So that thing's going to run cover, and if I do attack their carriers, like, that might work, but then I'm going to lose my entire fleet for it. But maybe that's still worth it? It kind of depends on how strong and scary those army carriers are. I really don't know. I will also design this Furious-class battlecruiser with a bit of armor here. This sucker is just going to have one giant plasma cannon on the nose and some point defense. Roughly the same delta V and a little bit better combat acceleration so it can kind of keep pace with my battleships. I really have no idea if these are good designs, to be honest. I need to do some research on all this, but again, I feel kind of under the gun. So I'm going to try constructing at least a handful of these, and we're going to just kind of find out what works. Okay, we've got new armies already in the EU and in the US. So the next thing to do is to get a navy for these so that they are still useful across the world. So that's going to be another army at 5.8 military tech, another one over here at 5.6. Between the EU and the US, we're going to have something on the order of, let's see, this will be 7, 5, yeah. So we'll have 12 armies that are well into the robotics age by the time the aliens arrive, I think. That's probably pretty good, not to mention we do have some global access from Russia and the UK as well. So that counts for something. And I've managed to snag the vast majority of the world's nukes. So as long as I control those, even if all hope is lost, we can nuke the country into oblivion and keep these aliens off of Earth. Oh gosh. All right, this is gonna end up being, you know, I wanted a challenge. It took a long time to get to this point, but it's finally getting here. You know, I just realized something. This poor ship, Romeo 10, you know, I thought that we were launching and in a year we'd arrive. I didn't actually check the dates properly. 2036! It's gonna be one more year before we arrive at Jupiter. Oy vey. Well, at least we equipped them with enough equipment to actually get over here, other than just, like, drift endlessly in space forever. So, they'll arrive. It's just going to take a lot longer than I thought. Wonderful. All right. Well, you know what? This is probably a good place to end this video, as good as anything. Yeah, I'm very nervous now that the aliens are on their way. I think we have prepared Earth about as well as we could. We've certainly delayed the aliens for a while by messing with the servants and the protectorate as much as we did. And we're in a really good spot to deal with them. The question is, what's going to be the collateral damage? And is it going to result in an endless war against the aliens and they destroy everything I've got? Or can we design enough ships to sage a desperate defense and then hold them off long enough that I can find my footing and truly come into my own? That is the question. Thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If so, I would ask you hit that like button. Please, I've been recording for over 3 hours. It's worth it. Leave a comment, subscribe to that notify bell, and I will see you guys next time.